Well, it's a gorgeous day here today, but it was a very different story yesterday. It was incessant rain yesterday, and two of the three possible routes into our village were impassable at one point. And so for me, there was a bit of panic around making sure people could safely get to the Pilates sessions for that day. So I was finding alternative routes, sending them out as maps. And in a way, that was easy for me in that flooding situation because I could just say, well, that route's not passable. Therefore, these are the alternatives, and this is the way that you can come in. So it's really quite simple. But for women who are encountering flooding of a different kind, so whether that's urinary or fecal leakage, that's very, very common at different stages in our lives particularly. Everyone thinks of the obvious being postnatal, but whether you've had children or not, menopause is another time where you get changes in the resilience of those muscle fibres in your pelvic floor that can lead to leakage. But that's not to say there's nothing we can do about it. However, what I commonly see for women that are encountering this leakage is they take one of two paths. One, they stop doing everything because that fear of leakage happening and the embarrassment that they feel, whether it's happening or not, could just be the fear that it might happen, stops them from moving altogether. Now, for me, this is potentially a dangerous approach because particularly as we're going towards and through menopause, we need to be more active for the sake of our heart health, our bone health, our metabolic health as well. And the other route is that they just carry on doing what they're doing, pop a pad in their pants, just ignore that leakage that's going on. Maybe it's a dragging sensation or a feeling of heaviness and think, well, I'm just going to do what I do and this just happens to everyone. That's how it is. And again, this could potentially be another dangerous situation because in ignoring what's going on, you miss the opportunity to strike while the iron's hot and really make a change in the leakage or the heaviness that you're feeling through your pelvic floor. So I see this quite a lot in ladies who love running. Running's a fantastic activity. You can do it from your front door. You don't need too much in the way of kit. You can go when it suits you. But obviously the pounding of feet, particularly if it's on pavements or roads, does reverberate through to the pelvic floor, and sometimes that can cause that heaviness or leakage. Other activities can do the same, whether that's lifting weights in the gym, other activities that you enjoy. Maybe it's just that you simply avoid going on a trampoline, or maybe you go on and just kind of deal with the leakage as it happens. So for those that are just carrying on regardless without taking time to think, right, what can I do to support my body with what's going on down in my pelvic floor and still enjoy the activities that I love? Because if we can switch and take that approach, how can I support my body to improve the resilience of my pelvic floor? It's not always the strength. Sometimes the strength is fine, but the endurance element isn't there. Sometimes we need to teach that pelvic floor to release and relax so that it can make a stronger connection. So there are different ways that we may need to approach our pelvic floor health. But rather than going for those extremes, either stopping everything and not helping yourself in the process, or carrying on regardless without dealing with what's actually going on, what about taking the middle ground? What about working with a coach, such as myself or other Holistic Core Restore coaches as well, who are available around the country, who can not only explain to you what's going on within your pelvic floor, how it works, how you can support it, and give you a program of movement, of nutrition, of lifestyle effects as well that will support your pelvic floor and core health and resilience, so that it goes with you. Whatever activities you choose to do, whatever stage of life you're in as well, take that pelvic floor with you. Those pads in your pants can be a support mechanism whilst you're dealing with that leakage, that heaviness, perhaps even prolapse. They're not the solution in themselves, and the solution may be easier and actually more enjoyable than you realise. So clients who've worked with me have found their confidence has grown exponentially I was delighted to see recently one lady that I worked with who'd become really quite introverted, stopped going out. She's actually out and about, got herself a job, and just the radiance that came off her, because suddenly she didn't feel like she needed to hide anything or compensate for what she was worried was going to happen through her pelvic floor. And she was really, really shining in every possible way. Maybe allow you to get back to activities that you love, improve your sex life. So many different benefits from taking that one step and deciding to start and understand what's going on in your pelvic floor and what you can do to support it.